Thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Yeah. Welcome to Massenomics, the world's strongest podcast. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Massenomics. Make sure you go visit Massenomics.com. There you'll find the rest of our powerful content. While you're there, check out our store and buy yourself some of that sweet Massenomics gear. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of the Massenomics podcast. I am Tyler, and to my left is Tommy.
What's up?
And across the way is Tanner.
Hey, everybody.
And I'm sure now you're going to tell us all our voices apart for the entire rest of the episode. What do we got on the docket today? We have a few things we need to really dive into today.
Yeah, we've got a full agenda today. And
here's
really
what I think.
Buckle
in.
This could push 3 hours.
Here's what I think we need to get into right away, and then we'll revisit it when we're trying to sell some shit. But mainly because if you're watching on the video, there's a bunch of shit on the table here.
Yeah.
And by shit, I mean the dopest fucking, shit. But totally not shit. We got the new Massenomics vacuum insulated water bottles here, stainless steel, and they're pretty much.
We've dubbed them the Flex Flask.
The Flex Flask. I fucking really like that.
They're live on the website actually too.
Now the question is, can I buy one of each right now? Do we have the inventory for me to do that?
We have a limited inventory of...
These are all limited supply, we should say, so you might want to get on these. We will get more in stock, but this initial one is...
I need a Huge Life, I need a Lift one, and I need the straight Massenomics one. I need 3.
Would you say it's because you can never be too hydrated?
I would say, for certain. It's also because we're going to... Megan's got Strongman Nationals here this week. We're leaving Wednesday, so we have to flex Massenomics pretty hard down there.
So can you take these on an airport?
Oh yeah,
no problem with that, right?
Yeah.
Do they need to be empty?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And they can't be gasoline or anything.
No, they cannot be filled with gasoline nor knives.
Oh,
well, where do you put your knives then?
I don't know.
In your knife holster, I think. Right next to your gun.
Yeah. So this is the OG Flex Flask. Yeah, but all of them come in either white or black. OG Flex Flask.
We recommend getting both, though.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's going to depend on your day.
The Lift Flex Flask and the Huge Life Flex Flask.
Which, for people, they might not be familiar, but this is kind of an unreleased design. Hasn't been really on anything.
No, you can't get it in a shirt yet or anything. It's been around for a little bit.
It's probably over a year now.
It's maybe one of the oldest things we've had around, actually.
Yeah. Other than Tyler.
Fuck. We have a guy like Larry on the roster, and you guys are making the age thing about me. This is bullshit.
I like to do that about anyone that's just slightly older than me.
Like 2 years older than Tanner, and he's like, this old son of a bitch.
These are all 41 ounces, double wall stainless steel. I have to look at our website here to
read that to the people.
What website is that?
Massenomics.com.
Oh, seems like a pretty sweet place to be.
Shop.
Is that a forward or a backslash?
Forward.
What's the difference?
One
is it
angles forward and one angles backwards.
Is the backslash when the top leans back?
I don't. Do you know?
I guess I
have no fucking.
That's what I always thought. Okay. I never thought about that hard, but I thought like when you're looking at a graph and it goes up and to the right, that's forward, and when it goes down and to the right, that's backwards. But I could be wrong there.
Do you, like in code and stuff?
They do mean different things. Yeah, they do mean different things.
Okay.
I don't know that. I can't confirm that. Tommy might have made that up.
Okay.
We'll never know.
Keep yourself hydrated and look damn good doing it with the Massenomics Flex Flask. The OG features our iconic M logo engraved by freaking laser beams. Your choice of brilliant white or matte black finish. 41 ounces, double wall stainless steel, wide mouth. Perfect for water, coffee, pre-workout, beer, whiskey, Everclear, or a combination of all 6.
Apparently no good for gasoline and knives, though, we found out.
That might make like the other ones less enjoyable after
The
that.
knives.
Yeah.
Or if you can think of something else to put in here, buy one of these, take a picture, and send it to us, and we will gladly.
We should have got these with that secret useless compartment on the bottom that
Christ.
unscrews.
Fill with all
Did
your
I
stuff.
ever show you guys those?
Yeah.
You had a bodybuilding.
Yeah, I didn't talk about that on here, did I?
No,
So
no.
I got these. Well, I didn't get these. Fucking my wife bought because they're on sale. So she bought like 20 of
You
these.
didn't have these yet.
They didn't have those out
But
yet.
there's like a thing, if something's on sale, you can't pass up the deal.
no,
though,
and
right?
you have to buy many.
Yeah,
so
you got to take advantage of
But
it.
what it was is it's a shaker bottle, but like a really shitty one, and then it has this. The bottom screws out, but it's not meant to be where you put like your protein powder, because then there's this thing that raises almost like the size of your wallet, but it's just too small for a wallet to fit in.
So is this called the cooler?
No, no, but it actually like goes up into the deal, up like into the bottom of the thing. So there's just this like, I don't know, like cassette tape or 2 cassette tape sized void where you can't put, with it, there's not liquid in there. So this thing holds like.
So is that where you'd put like your credit card? Or?
I don't know what the point would be.
I
Maybe
couldn't figure
you
that-
can't fit car keys in there or anything anymore. You know what I
Like
mean?
maybe like a granola bar or
Maybe,
something,
but a
it's like
small one.
who eats them? Why would you just hold
I
it?
brought 2 Lara bars.
I wonder who is the genius that came up with this? Like, this is going to
There's
be
a reason
handy.
those are getting liquidated.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're made shitty. They leak and break all the time. But like, the fact is, they hold like 9 ounces of liquid then because of that big hunk of shit taking up all the space.
Yeah.
You could never use it for protein.
It's not like an
because-
ice thing, is it?
No, I don't think so. You could never use it for protein because it wouldn't. No, you definitely couldn't because it would melt and nothing
and leak
seals. It
out.
would leak
Yeah,
out everywhere.
yeah.
But you can't put protein even in the shaker portion of it because there's all those little square, there's all that shit in the way. It would be the worst thing in the world to clean. So it's only good for like maybe creatine or pre-workout, maybe.
Did you ever try and use it for
Oh,
that?
no. No. I use it
Is
for
that even
water.
handy? Like, at what point are
no.
you like,
No.
you need that with
Well,
you?
no, and I never used the void in it for
Yeah.
anything. So it's just a really shitty cup. The small one, too.
Yeah.
So these do not have any useless compartments. It has one very purposeful compartment.
I would say
41
only
ounce,
the
which is-
essentials.
These are good size if you can't tell on
The
camera.
reason it's 41 ounces is so you can still pour 1 ounce out for the homies and still have exactly 40 ounces for
That's right.
yourself.
Like,
And another thing, I personally have a bottle that's 40 ounces by another brand, somewhat similar to this, and
did they have a similar name to our
kind
Flex Flask?
kind of, yeah. But at the time when I got it, I thought 40 ounces. I'll never drink that much in the gym because at the time I was taking like a 20-ounce shaker cup to the gym, and I would drink that, and that was enough. And now that I'm used to 40 ounces, the idea of not having 40 ounces in the gym with me is crazy.
How long ago was that? when you were
Just
using the other
less than 6 months ago.
one? And look at how much stronger you are now.
Yeah, I know.
Simply
blowing
because
up,
40 ounces.
water loading at all times.
I have put one of these through the ringer now for, I don't know, I suppose a month or so.
Yeah.
And durability and everything seems to be on par with, similar to what you might expect from a comparable brand, I believe.
Yeah, these are way better than the Grassonomics ones.
Those mostly hold weed.
And the Assonomics ones, which are just smell weird.
Yeah, got that.
But in all actuality, if you think you want one of these, I would try to buy it right now. We are going to do our best to keep restocking these as we sell out. But like I
these go
said,
pretty fast.
Yeah, and we have 6 varieties here that we're looking at, so we're not carrying 100 of each in inventory. Yeah. So if you want one, I would buy it when you.
And literally, as we're saying this, I'm taking 3 of these. So
Yeah, to be
we're,
safe,
we're
though,
putting a pretty big dent in them right
to
now.
be safe, if you go on the website and they're in stock, you should just buy all of the ones that are on there. So you
Yeah.
don't got to worry about having to mess with it later.
No.
Because you're going to buy one and you're going to want the other one.
Yeah.
And then the other
They get
It's a great
lonely by
gift.
themselves.
Great gift for kids, too. Kids love these things. Elementary school
kids like
kids.
getting
They're just
huge. They like Miller High Life stylized.
stocking stuffer. This would stuff a stocking
No,
perfectly.
I know that's a joke, but my kid actually does. Anything that I come home with that has Massenomics on, he feels like
It's his.
should be getting one too. Like,
Yeah.
oh, did you get one for me? It's like, well, no, not really. You know,
You don't.
Maybe for
we have a hard
Christmas.
enough time getting you to put down 4 ounces of water with dinner.
this isn't even practical for you.
So no, those are out. And yeah, so hit them up in the store. I think these will be around. I mean, I think this is something we'll carry and sell for quite a long time. So once we get up to speed and we're able to keep them in stock. But yeah, so snatch them up while they're available. Perfect for Christmas.
Really is.
Yeah.
And Thanksgiving gifts. And mid-December gifts.
Yeah. New Year's
gifts. Valentine's Day. Second week in
St.
January
Patrick's
Day.
Yeah.
Most of the holidays, really, it works pretty well
Yeah.
for. The which one do you guys like better than? All right, first, which color in general do you guys like better, black or
There's
white?
two sides of this. The white just stands out. Like it demands
It
attention.
commands attention,
It does because
The
it's
white
just
and the white to me is so you don't see that.
Yeah. You do see this.
yes.
color
You see
combination.
large black bottles
Yeah.
like that, but the white really stands out. But I do also like the fact that the black has a little more of a matte finish to it. Kind of gives it a little more I don't know, stealthy.
Now the
feel.
white one, though they are vacuum sealed, the white ones will probably keep your water cooler a little bit longer if it's left out in the heat of the day.
That
You got a
makes
point
sense.
there.
Stands to
Science,
reason.
Tyler.
Yeah.
It's, I used to be a heating and air conditioning professional.
If there's one thing you know, it's how to keep
if
cold
there's
things
one
cold
thing
and
I
hot
know,
things hot.
It's thermodynamics.
Yep.
And also that my furnace doesn't work right now, which I got that going for me. Yeah. So my favorite, obviously, like the OG one is just, in my opinion, is just fucking really cool.
The size of the logo looks really.
Yeah,
good
I
on
like having the
OG.
logo huge on them.
Yeah.
I really like. I think they're all. I really like the lift. How well that turned out, and on the black versus the white, it's just really hard for me to choose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge Life. I'm fucking in
This
love
one
with
is fun
because it's the
because it's
first one
new.
we've seen.
I was gonna say
we haven't seen that manifested on anything.
Yeah, other than a poster, I've never actually seen it, and
Right.
so to see it in person is just exciting for me.
It kind of makes you want to have it on a shirt when you see it on this.
Yeah,
though,
I also
you know.
want that and a banner, like a big
Ooh,
stupid
yeah,
banner.
that'd be
pretty
cool.
sweet.
That
Yeah.
would be.
Look at us just brainstorming here.
Guys, look at this. Anything else you want us to put our shit on, we'll sell you too.
So you don't. All in all, you don't have a final answer.
I'm just honestly, if they were all looking me in the face right now, it'd be harder. But right now, the black lift is still my
Yeah,
jam.
That does
That looks really sharp.
look pretty cool.
But the white lift is pretty awesome too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, guys. You're gonna have to buy all 6.
Yeah, that's the only way
It's
to
the
know
only
for
way.
sure.
Yeah.
and then you choose which one for that day based on your mood.
Yeah.
And
Like-
obviously, you guys train at least 6 days a week. So
Yeah.
you
One
have
for each
you have
training
your-
day.
You have your squatting bottle and your. All right. So anyway, these are available. We'll hustle you again for that stuff later. But
We'll just have the same conversation over.
we're
We'll
just
just-
starting
we recorded that. We're just gonna hit play again in 30 minutes.
That's actually our ad.
that is our, yeah. By the way, I've been listening to some podcasts that now are just like really like ramping up their monetization. And how
Longer
fucking annoying
ads.
does that get?
The fast forward 15-second comes in handy when it's like a 3-minute.
But like Rogan's has always been long, but there's some now where it's just ad copy. Like he's not really but there's somewhere it's like 25 minutes. And then the ones that try to make it like a little more listenable, so it's conversation. It's like a back and forth. Like I listen to Bert Kreischer's podcast quite a bit, and there's a couple other ones that now are like they're trying to make the podcast be what they do for a living along with their other stuff. And like I think Bert's last podcast, there was like 36 minutes of fucking talking about Blue Apron and ZipRecruiter.
and it seems like it's all the same.
And it's
same
all,
one.
yeah, it's all these
Mike
same-
Rowe is always Blue Apron,
Yeah.
ZipRecruiter.
Yeah, and it has to be like these companies have to be making money off of advertising on
I
podcasts.
guess.
Like they wouldn't keep run. I would just think they have their marketing dialed in enough that they're not going to keep running ads on these platforms if it's not returning money for them.
Yeah.
And ZipRecruiter, Blue Apron, like.
No, I don't want to hamstring
Do you-
our
like Casper
ability.
Mattress, do you hear those ones a lot? Like
And
Casper
there's
Mattress,
like 4 different ones like
Yeah,
that.
but if any of these guys want to pay us money,
and yeah,
for
well, I
this,
mean, we'll
yeah,
gladly
yeah,
push your
we'll,
stuff for you.
we'll change our tune real quick.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
the
We could be
ZipRecruiter thing
bought.
is always weird to me because, like, I'm like, who?
That's such
Yeah,
a
it's like,
specific
how many
person.
people
Business owners or HR,
are listening?
like
are listening to?
business owners that at least employ probably 10 to 15 people. Because if you're less than that, like,
Who are actively looking to hire? these
yeah.
people. So like,
or,
that's
or
a-
else an HR director of a large company.
if you have 100,000 listeners every week, like we do, you have like, what percentage of those are people that are making hiring decisions? I mean, obviously in our audience, it's over half. But most
very engaged.
Most audiences, I can't imagine like, oh yeah, people who listen to your podcast are the decision makers at their company.
Well, and even if the way that it works, like in the company I work for, even if you're ultimately responsible in choosing the person that you're going to hire, you're not in charge of the process of finding the candidates. Like you don't, you just like get the candidates. You know, they do the kind of the groundwork of sifting through some of that, like, okay, this person is definitely not qualified. We're not even going to, you know, like some of that really easy stuff. And they just give you the ones that kind of pass those initial qualifiers.
Anyway, this is brought to you by ZipRecruiter.com.
Great product, great service.
Back when I used to work at the restaurant when I was like 19, we had we get applications all the time, you know, and like no offense to dishwashers and stuff, but dishwasher and table bussing and kitchen staff, not always the most hireable applicants in the world, and definitely not people that are going like next door to the bank and filling out an application as well, you know?
Yeah.
But so we would get some of the craziest fucking applications out there, and people that don't understand that you don't have to fill out everything that's on the form. So like every job application you're going to have is going to have a list of your name, and then it will say like alias or nickname, which really means like if you ever go by another name like legally, like you know how some people are like
TJ or something like that,
or you know, like some people have you know, I know a guy who's you know, his name was Paul, but he goes by Joe because it's his
middle name.
Yeah, that's kind of, and that's
like
you know,
that,
because so that's what that's for.
Not like your buddies call you T-Bone or
no joke. We had one, and the guys put on the deal. Everything else kind of looked normal, and then it was nickname, and he put Spider
on a job application.
So, which begets the question: do you refer to him as Spider when he follows up? Like, listen, Mr. Spider, and it was spelled with a Y as well. Which is
edgier.
Either a red flag or, I mean, is he writing that down often? You know, is that how you sign? Do you sign your name with your nickname that often?
So he got the job.
Obviously, yeah. We need a dishwasher.
Last name Man.
Yeah.
It was like
No
I do
secret.
Change the
web
letter and
things.
throw them off my track.
But so if you want to try to not hire the spiders of the world, go to ZipRecruiter.com. Tell them Massenomics sent you, and maybe they'll pay us.
You know who does a pretty decent job with their ads, though? I said it a second ago, is Mike Rowe. I when he is delivering an ad, I will listen to it because he's not reading. He never reads copy, and even says that.
Yep.
He's just talking about actual personal experiential things, and it's usually kind of it's like almost
usually
a part of the podcast.
And usually
it's
his pieces are fit into that 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Meaning,
they're
I
not.
Can
They don't go
I
on
can go
forever. Yeah.
Next, I can jump ahead 30, and we're good to go.
Right.
Yeah, Mike Rowe's podcast is really fucking good.
Yes, they
My
are.
favorite. Have you heard it?
I'm missing the boat here now.
Oh,
Do you ever remember?
it's,
You might be too young for this. Do you remember Paul Harvey's The Rest of the Story?
Yeah. Yep.
Where it was like he'd tell this cool narrative, and it'd
And
be
at the
like
end,
he'd be
it's
like, and this guy fucking
and that was
this guy
Teddy
invented
Roosevelt.
corn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I tell a story about the guy that invented corn, and then you're like, yeah, and it was fucking Teddy Roosevelt. You'd be like, no shit.
And that little boy was John Denver.
And that's basically the way all of Mike Rowe's things go. It's this whole deal, and then at the end, it's like,
What's the name of the podcast?
It's The Way I Heard It.
Yeah. The show for a curious mind with a short attention span.
That's what his show's
Yeah,
called.
Because they're like
about 10
5
minutes long,
episodes,
5
5 to 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So the first time I found it, it was pretty new. So there was only maybe like 12 or 13 episodes.
Yeah.
So I like listened to all of them.
That's exactly
while
what
I was
did.
eating one meal.
Yeah, they're good. And you find yourself, you're trying to guess. You're like,
yeah.
It's not always a famous person. The catch at the end might be like, maybe it's a thing.
Yeah,
or
like this person invented this thing.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like,
But you're as you're listening, you're like, oh, the Nazis.
Yeah.
You're like,
you're like, oh, they got
it was
polio.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
So those are good though, really good.
Yeah, his ad copy, he does a pretty good job. I just don't know of a great way to do it. And it's interesting because they'll do it in the beginning. And I think they do it on purpose so you can skip through it all in one big chunk. There's a few, because they get paid more money if they do it in the middle. And I think they get paid the least if you do it at the end.
Yeah.
But the ones that cut into it in the middle, there's another, it's a pretty good podcast, is Greg Fitzsimmons' podcast. But he will actually, in post, cut it in so he doesn't like interrupt the flow of things.
Yeah.
But it'll be like, he'll be carrying on a conversation, and then there'll be just a single pause, and then he will in post interject and be like, well, let me ask you one more thing. Do you ever have any trouble hiring somebody and you don't even understand it? And you're like,
It's like, oh, that really changed
Yeah.
tone quickly.
ZipRecruiter.
And he bounced right back to it. I'm like, fucking got me again.
Damn ZipRecruiter, I don't have anyone to hire.
But yeah.
What's the meals one again?
There's Blue Apron.
Blue
and there's
Apron, yeah, that's the
also
one I hear.
there's another one too, isn't there?
The mattress one, ZipRecruiter. There's
There's another-
LegalZoom.com.
LegalZoom, yeah. There's another
one.
food one too, though, besides Blue Apron, I think, and I can't.
There's some of the meal shipping ones that do it. I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember if there's any like supplement stuff that come out there. Some of that stuff always comes and goes because supplement companies like are reputable for 6 months at a time.
Yeah.
I've noticed the Powercast has kicked up the length of their in the middle advertisements too, where it's like 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no way I'm listening.
There
to
was
that
one day I
long
was
of a-
fast forwarding because my button default is set at 30 seconds, and I hit it twice, and they were talking. I'm like, oh, I went too far. And so I was about to reach for it to back it up. I'm like, oh my God, they're still talking about it. So I hit it again, thinking definitely way past it now. They were still, it was like over 3 minutes long, which just like blew me away that a podcast went from having no advertisements to like
They never
15
had
seconds
any, right?
to 30 seconds to all of a sudden like multi-minute ones about things that I'm not even sure that they use or have anything to do with.
I don't know what to do now.
Jesus
Jesus Christ, guys.
Tyler's
Now that I'm
waving
being
something.
recorded by a bigger video camera.
I pull.
The limit here is 2 cameras. You bust
three,
out.
everybody just clams
you
up.
I
bust
get
out
pretty
camera
nervous
3.
with the third camera
Yeah,
going.
Tyler's waving the third camera in
The
our
sixth
face right
microphone.
now. Yeah, it's too much.
So there was a few things that come up this week. Now that we're 22 minutes into our advertisements for ZipRecruiter, one of the things we wanted to maybe let's start with this one. Is I saw an article Tommy had pointed out to us that they're like raising a bunch of red flags about nose torque in the NFL.
I had seen it because Big Jake the Snake Heinrich had tagged me in that
Oh, did he?
on Twitter actually, and I was
Okay.
like, don't tag me on Twitter. Like I don't want to have to open
I'm
this
not
app.
in college.
Yeah.
I don't have time to be on here.
Jake, take me on Instagram if there's something. But I had read it too, so when you sent that, I was like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so really it was.
Did you read it then?
I
today, too?
did, yeah. And like, I don't know what they were. So they were also trying to make the claim that like it's ineffective, and it's like, but for what? Like,
Yeah, I think
What's the summary of the article?
So yeah, so the quick synopsis of the article is that it's becoming increasingly common, it sounds like, with players on the sidelines and even coaches, and I think even like training, pretty much anyone on the sideline of an NFL game to have little ammonia packets, just like you would see at a powerlifting meet, little ammonia packets.
and some teams have them all over the place. It looks like candy wrappers.
Yeah, that's what they said. Is like it's getting to the point now where when you walk by the bench, it looks like a parade went through and there's just candy wrappers
They
everywhere.
said at the end of the Dallas Cowboys football game, they counted over 100 used ones on the ground.
Yeah. And so what's going on is like anybody that's done a powerlifting meet or just lifted and has nose torque, ammonia packets, whatever, is, these guys are on the sideline. They're probably getting wore down. They just need that little perk to go out. And I think most of us could probably relate is they take a little sniff of it. They go out there, they feel alert, they do their thing. And now you have people coming in and saying, well, first of all, there's a lot of these things around. And then, scientifically saying these don't do anything.
The efficacy of it is
Yeah. And
unproven.
I feel like there's a lot that plays into that. Like, yeah, maybe there's scientifically nothing is like you're not getting stronger or something, but if it feels like it gives you a mental edge, isn't that all you need?
My thing is, I don't care who you are, if you're sitting on the bench between series,
Yeah,
changing from offense to defense, and you get tired, and you take a little pop of nose torque, you're going to be more alert. when you stand up and walk out onto the field. You're going to like that's not even fucking like subjective. Like that's how that is a thing that's going to happen for sure. So like to say it doesn't work, it's like, well, for what? Like, it's not going to improve their 40-yard dash times, but they're going to not be tired as they're going out to do a thing. Or like
they're just going to feel a little more alert. Like
we're
if
talking
you
like
feel,
not sleepy.
Yeah.
Because that's the deal is they're just sitting there, heavy pads.
Maybe they're not on the field for 15 minutes. You know, they could literally just be sitting on the bench for that long in between.
And you can't be constantly, quote, like warming up throughout the course of an entire NFL game.
Right.
So like
you'll spend 3 hours.
You do need to rest.
Yeah, and I totally get it. Like, okay, Tom Brady comes out and puts on a 8-minute offensive drive, which 8 minutes of the game clock is probably between your TV timeouts, your regular timeouts. You could be a defensive player sitting on the sidelines for 20 plus minutes easy. And you're not going to be running sprints the whole time on the sidelines. You got to chill. So all of a sudden you go from kind of like this chill mode to like, all right, kill and get the ball mode. It's like you just got to it'd be tough to just flip the switch for 4 hours like that. And
you
so I
peel
think
your
this
eyes
kind
away
of
from the cheerleader. Get back to
all the fans yelling at you, whether good or bad, all the cameras in your face. And to me, it makes sense. Like, I just need to do this to just kind of slap me in the face and get me going.
Right.
And I was waiting in the article for the journalist to be like, so in the name of, fair journalism, I tried some, but they never said anything about that. And I feel like that would end the argument of like, whoa. But they also would have probably put the take on it that, I did it, and it just alters your mind so much.
It's what you said too, though. That's what it almost annoyed me as I was reading the article, where they're saying how scientists, it's unproven that it does anything, and I'm like, just do it once. And there's no arguing it. It's like it's not just. It's exactly like you said, but to say it's not working, I don't even understand. That
like where is that science coming from?
Yeah, and what's in just your definition of working? I mean, it's unarguable. Put it up to your nose and tell me it's not working.
Yeah.
Does alcohol make you a better dancer?
Yes.
But they're not. Nobody's funding that research. You know what I mean? Like,
I can see people not liking it.
yes.
Yeah, I get that too. And I think their argument in the article was that they're afraid it's going to trickle down to the high school level.
Yeah.
And I'm sure every parent wants to see like their kids huffing ammonia on the side before they go in.
But also, like, let's be real. Like, there's a lot of worse things that those NFL players are probably doing that you don't want trickling down to your kids. Nose torque is the least of the worries when it comes to the DUIs, drug charges, steroids, and women abuse.
Yeah.
I like what my
I
favorite.
don't think fucking like huffing
Concussions
fucking,
also.
and concussions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, well, that was the one red flag there that they maybe point out was that like they used to kind of use it to mask concussion syndrome.
Yeah, which I didn't realize that's why it's banned, and it said boxing and somewhere else didn't it say that?
And that actually is sensible. Like,
but,
from that, because if you got your bell rung and you do take a pop a nose, you're gonna be all right. I'm keyed in for just a moment, keyed in enough to look a trainer in the eyes, follow a pen, and get the fuck back out on the field.
That makes sense to not use it for.
Yeah.
So to not use it for its intended purpose.
Yes.
Because that's what they talk about too. Is the company says that's not what they make it for. You know, it's to be used as like waking you up from unconsciousness.
Yeah.
But my favorite part of the article, they referenced powerlifting and they named Nose Torque by brand.
They did. They did both of those.
Nose Torque being the Massenomics gym go-to ammonia
brand.
Yeah.
Or ammonia.
And they also referenced one called Wake Up Motherfucker.
They did.
Really?
Yeah.
I have down in the basement. So my CrossFit gym is in this 100-and-some-year-old fucking shoe store building downtown. You guys know this. The audience does not. But in the basement, there's all this like wacky shit, like super creepy stuff too. Some like there's like maybe 100 pairs of very well-made leather toddler dress shoes.
Oh,
just in a pile, like really creepy.
did you think about opening an online
It
store?
was, well, no, it's creepy in the way that like, yeah, it's just really creepy. That it's like if you walk down to this dungeon basement and there's just fucking baby shoes. That's fucking not something you want to find covered in spider webs. And besides that, and a stack of about 150 old nudie magazines, which is
for
great.
real.
Yeah, which is
Wow.
great.
Maybe some of them are worth something. If
they
there's like
probably-
a
No, I
first
don't
edition
think so.
Playboy
I
or
don't
something.
think so, but like
You
that's,
should investigate that more, Tyler.
Well, they're not mine, so But it was, which is funny because that's how everybody stumbles into their first nudie.
Yeah.
There's just some dusty
In the
pile
basement.
somewhere, in a basement or in the woods.
I'm afraid kids these days aren't going to experience that, though, are they?
They're gonna go straight to some weird shit.
Yeah.
If I was like in middle school, junior high, and high school, and had the internet in its current manifestation, it would have been a fucking. I would have missed so much school.
For us, it was like a straight up miracle when one day, it's a windy day and a page of one blows into someone's yard. It's like, dude, look what I found in my yard today. And it was literally the coolest thing that had happened to you that month. Yeah.
Yeah, like you get a call from a friend, like, guys, a boob blew into my yard.
Yeah. Calls your mom, who then puts you on the phone and be like, look what's in my yard.
But also, though, back to the deal in this basement is it's unfortunate that ammonia does, or that smelling salts aren't, have a shelf life, finite shelf life, because there is about 6 cases of like 120 bottles of basically nose torque down there. All of it's dried up.
I wonder what it was for.
What would they have that for?
I don't know. I'm wondering if there's something to do with because they were like actual like cobblers, like shoe repair, like if maybe there's something chemically done
For the
there.
leather or
Oh,
something.
yeah. Or maybe they just
What
were
is-
like, every time they made a new pair of shoes, they're like, all right, let's make some shoes.
All right, this is probably going to sound dumb. Is ammonia used for cleaning?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's the
Is that-
primary use.
okay.
Yeah. I think that's what it is used for.
Yeah.
I
That's
suppose
the only
there's
thing I could...
other-
Back before when things needed to smell pleasant after they were cleaned, you could just clean it and be like, oh, that smells toxic. Good. It's clean.
Yeah.
Clean.
Yeah. I suppose there's some other industrial uses.
I'm sure,
like
yeah.
that
Yeah, it used to be. I believe it used to also be, as like a refrigerant, among other things. But
now we just smell it before we
Fertilizer.
lift. And also, what the article did not point out is there was no doctor on there that said this is bad because it'll do this. They said it's probably not the best thing because you're smelling cleaning chemicals, but
Yeah.
they didn't, like, I would be curious to see if there's some study that shows like it could be damaging your
Yeah. And here...
nasal
and
passages.
the thing is,
or
like, in the grand scheme of things too, like, is that more dangerous than, let's be
Anything
honest,
else that you're doing.
anytime
Yeah.
that one of those guys
Takes a hit,
gets a knee injury, and like they have pain mid-game, they go get a cortisone shot so they don't feel the pain and they can just grind their knee to a fucking pulp to finish the game. Like, I don't think nose torque is near the top of their list of things they should worry about.
Yeah.
yeah, I
Maybe
agree.
stop players from putting guns in their mouths due to all the head trauma and such.
Right.
Start there. Worry about the nose torque later.
It's a starting point.
Yeah.
I also don't. If I was playing football, I don't know if they said Ezekiel Elliott, he'd go through eight over the course of that game because he'd take one before he goes out for every series. That would be quite a bit of nose torquing for me.
See, that seems a little excessive, but
I also wouldn't want to do it and then be doing anything with which I was breathing really hard.
yeah,
for-
it doesn't help the airways for anything. That's
No.
for sure.
I mean, like, when I do feel that my airways open up, but I also don't feel like
You can take a good
I want
breath
my
in.
heart
Yeah.
rate
Right.
doing anything exceptional for very long. There was a podcast that I listened to. They had kind of a stunt that they did, where, like, if they got X amount of 5-star reviews on iTunes, they were going to do, which we're not going to do this contest, but you guys should, while we're talking about it, should definitely be leaving us iTunes reviews. But they that after they got to a certain number, they were going to do what's called the nose torque mile, which kind of like the beer mile, except you got to take a whiff of nose torque, run 400 meters, take a whiff of nose torque, run 400 meters, so you run a mile like that, which would not be awesome.
No.
No, it wouldn't.
It'd be the last thing I would want to do.
Yeah. So people do that with a beer where they chug 3
Oh,
beers.
did
or
we not talked about this?
I
Dude,
no,
you
I hadn't
guys-
heard of
I
this
wouldn't
either.
wanna
Oh,
do that.
the beer mile is actually like a real thing. There's world records. They
So
get
do they
sponsored.
chug 3 beers or 4? Do you have to
4.
chug a fourth
It
when you get
has
done?
to be
or-
5% alcohol. I'll run this through because, no joke, the fucking times, like the world record times of this, are absolutely bananas. And the people that I've heard that have done it, some people were like college runners and stuff that have even done it, said like, you're going to throw up everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
even to do,
I can't think of a better way to
even
try to make
do
yourself
it-
throw
even
up.
to do it in 15 minutes, you're probably going to throw up. But this is crazy. Give me a second just to pull this up. That's me in our ears there.
Just to do a beer quarter mile where you chug one beer and run a quarter mile, that might make me puke.
Yeah, I think anything where you're just chugging a lot of anything and then running, like that's the worst.
The other thing is the people that are setting these records are really, really, really good runners. I mean, there's some of the best runners in the world and some of the best beer chuggers in the world at the same time.
Right. Because you still have to be able to slam 4 beers. You can't take any runner.
You guys get this. Okay. The rules are, and I should look up exactly how it goes. I believe you start with a beer, and then you run, and then a beer and a run, a beer and a run, and then a beer and a run. But and so that way you're not chugging a beer at the very end.
Yeah.
But they said if you do 3-2 beer, you have to drink a 5th beer at the end. That's kind of how they even it out. The men's best sanctioned beer miles, like these are the world records here. The men's best is 4 minutes and 33 seconds.
Wow.
And I believe.
Okay, are they shotgunning or chugging or how is this?
I think you just chug it. I believe it has to be in a bottle.
They're going to say in a bong.
Yes, it has to be.
That's crazy, though, because I was going to say 8 minutes would be crazy because if you give a minute for the run, a minute for the chug.
That's what I thought.
A minute for the run,
like when you said crazy, I was really thinking like in that 8 ballpark, maybe 7.
Under 8 would be crazy to me. I mean, under 20 would be crazy to me.
I also believe the women's time, can't find it on here quickly, but the women's time is also 4.5 minutes. It's fucking super crazy. So here we go. Rules. Each competitor drinks 4 cans of beer, runs 4 laps, ideally on a track. Start with a beer, then lap, beer, lap. Must be consumed before the lap has begun within a transition area. So there's a 10-meter zone right before the start and finish. So that area is your transition area. So just 10 yards short of your finish, get your beer, chug it before you can leave that space.
They've got to be drinking the beer in 10 seconds each time, though.
Women also drink 4 beers in 4 laps. The past rule used to be that women were only required to drink 3 beers, but let's be honest. You want a level playing field? Play the game. So they must drink. It's canned beer, 12-ounce cans. Bottles may be substituted as long as they are 12-ounce. No specialized cans or bottles. No super mega mouth cans or wide mouth bottles.
You can't put the thing on top of your can.
Beer cans must not be tampered with in any manner. No shotgunning or puncturing the can, except for opening at the tab at the top. Same applies with bottles. No straws or other aids. Beer must be a minimum of 5% alcohol. Hard ciders and lemonades will not suffice. Beer must be fermented, brewed from malt, cereal grains, flavored with hops.
Wow, they're detailed on the beer.
Cannot be opened until the competitor enters the transition zone. So that's another thing, is it's going to be as carbonated as it possibly can be at that point.
Yep.
Competitors who vomit before they finish the race must complete 1 penalty lap at the end of the race.
Wow.
Note, vomiting more than once during the race still requires only 1 penalty lap at the end. It is strongly recommended when attempting official records to tip the empty beer can or bottle over your head at the end of a chug to verify an empty vessel.
I just assumed every person puked during this, so the fact that they're not puking.
Most of the people...
But in the lead, they're not.
Oh, for sure they're not. But I still think the largest percentage of people that do this throw up, for sure.
Yeah.
I might throw up just running a mile. So, beer mile. Anyway, so those guys did it with nose torque.
Or a lot of people might just throw up chugging 4 beers.
Yeah.
A lot of people chugging 4 beers in 4 minutes would do that to them too.
Yeah, I mean those people are pussies, but
we're not friends with those people.
They're not gonna hang. Let's see if I can find
the guys that can drink but not run.
Can you drink but not run? Come to Massenomics. Oh, there's just so much information here, but that's the beer mile. So look into it. Actually, beermile.com is a tremendous resource.
We need to figure out the lifting equivalent of that. Get everyone involved.
Okay, maybe I was wrong in reading this. So the men's world record is 4.5 minutes. The women's beer mile record is 6 minutes.
Oh well.
So
come to me when you've done something,
right? Yeah. Some of these though, you're looking at the beer. this other.
Does it say what beer they're drinking?
This woman did. Sometimes they list it, sometimes they don't. This woman did it in 6 minutes 17 seconds, drinking Fat Tire. Now I can drink
Or Heineken.
the shit out of some Fat Tire on my roof in the summer, and I can put down a 6-pack on my roof, but even that's going to take me a half hour.
And you're not running around your roof when you're doing it.
No.
I'm just curious for like the person in like the 300th spot that has Four Loko behind their name. the old Four Loko
balls,
mile.
look at the balls. This is a gal here, fucking Elizabeth Lassiter. I'm in love. 7 minutes 7 seconds drinking Natty Ice.
Nice. It's a classic.
There is a. Yeah, they do list the beers on a lot of these, which is kind of interesting. There's some Heinekens on here. I want to see them. I want to see the men's and see what them guys are drinking.
You'd think you'd want to just go for the lightest thing that has.
So this person I think this is probably the best strategy. Bud Light Platinum.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that's actually pretty common on here. And then
What is Bud Light Platinum?
Amsterdam.
It's they're in the.
I mean, I know what it.
The
but
blue.
like,
It's just like Bud Light.
It tastes
That's
just like Bud Light,
5.5%.
Yeah, it's like
I think.
6% alcohol or something like that. But it tastes just like Bud Light.
Yeah.
So if you want Bud Light that you could actually maybe
Get
get a
drunk
buzz
off.
on,
Yeah.
that's the way to go. A lot of Amsterdam Blonde on this. Like that must be the.
Not familiar with that one.
It must be nice and light, but have the alcohol content. But I'm not seeing anything very. It's like Amsterdam Blonde and Bud Light Platinum, all at like the top 40.
Do you think the running accelerates the buzz in some way?
I'm certain.
Like
I'm
it's
sure the
blood,
fatigue
something with
does.
it, yeah.
You cross the line, and 5 minutes later, you're just blacked out.
Yeah.
One of my favorite, I mean, it's definitely not good for your health, I'm sure, but one of my favorite things, you do like a really hard workout, like, some strength work and then like some intense conditioning, and then like chill out and drink a 6-pack fast. You know what I mean? Like that's a good way to wind down your day.
Or start your day.
Or start your day if you work out at 5 a.m. But yeah, that's the beer mile. But yeah, nose torque mile we won't be doing anytime soon. I can't imagine that the NFL is going to do away with nose torque though.
No. I mean they were talking about that though.
Isn't that weird? Speaking of nose torque though, we are going to fill Tommy in because he's the only one that hasn't seen it. So we're going to try and do no spoilers, but there's totally. The results because it'll happen. But the strongman documentary called Born Strong is out. Do you know who made it even?
I'm not sure.
And where is this available?
It is on, you can get it on iTunes. You can get it on Google Play, Amazon.
Amazon is where I
So
got
pretty
it
much
from.
everywhere.
Everywhere that you pay
But you're
going
gonna
to
have to pay for it. Yeah. Maybe you
which is
can.
the
I
worst.
suppose that you can pirate it somehow. I don't
But
know.
it's
I'm
not
into
bad.
that
I think
scene,
it's like $13 to buy.
Yeah, and I think I rented it for $4
yeah.
off of Amazon Prime.
Would you, in
I might be able to
hindsight,
scrap you
would
at
you
$4.
buy it?
Probably not. I guess I'm guessing maybe at some point in time it'll be
On Netflix?
Yeah. and which I will. If you're asking if I would watch it again, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like.
Tanner is cheap, you guys. I don't know if you
Yeah.
know this. Tanner's like, I will not. I will not spend another $6.
No joke. The $4 thing was even like, because I've rarely ever purchased anything that I watched from Amazon or anywhere like that. But this was an exception to the rule where I was like, okay, I didn't have to think long and hard.
Does
about
it give
this.
you the option for standard def or high
Yes,
def?
it does. And did
Yeah.
you go standard? To save some
No,
money?
I think we did do high def because
You can't
It
watch
was
in
a
standard
dollar.
def. Standard def anymore is
I
like
can't.
for people in the Stone
I was
Age.
like, what am I, a homeless person?
Yeah,
Watching
yeah.
standard definition.
but I don't know who made it or produced it or
It was
directed.
pretty well made.
Oh,
for the
yeah.
most part.
So who's it about?
So it goes through the 2000s.
The people you would want it to be about.
Yeah, the 2016 Arnold.
So
which was the year
one we missed.
The one I was.
Oh, you were there.
at.
That's
I was
right.
there for that one. That
That's
was
right.
pre-Massenomics.
Yeah.
But-
Did you watch any of the events?
Yeah.
Which events did you
I
watch?
saw the part of the deadlift. I saw the one-arm dumbbell and the.
You didn't watch. You didn't watch the frame carry. I'm
No,
sure because that was
in
the main
final.
event.
Yeah, we didn't see that one, and I missed the bale yoke as well. Which, let's be, it's not that exciting at the Arnold. It's heavy, but they move it 15 feet. Like
Not the most dynamic.
It's commendable.
Thing you'll see.
It's an impressive feat of strength, but like they're just moving at 15 feet. There's just not a lot to watch there.
Right,
but
right.
anyway, it was really well made. It covers, but it follows basically just in these 4 parts. Basically, it follows, gives a full background, talks about kind of their training and a good, probably like 15, 20 minutes on each one.
Yeah, it goes through the 4 competitors, and then the wrap-up is the Arnold.
Yep.
So who's the 4
So
competitors?
Zadrunas, Eddie Hall, Brian Shaw, and Half Thor.
Oh,
So
sweet.
it's about
So
the 4 guys you
it's
want
all
it
the
to
shit
be
you
about.
want to see.
Yeah.
And they get into like Eddie Hall's weight and how he's got to push his weight up higher because those guys are naturally so much bigger than he is.
How
and
he's unhealthy.
Yeah,
You know, and how he's worried about it.
how he's pretty sure that he
Like he
can't.
talks about that even?
Yeah,
Oh,
he,
yeah.
he even says, and his doctor says, he's like, yeah, I mean, you're not going to live another 10 years walking
Yeah.
around at this weight.
And his wife is basically like in
Tears.
tears wanting him to quit soon because
Yeah.
like not wanting him to die.
Yeah.
You know?
And it is, even though that covers the Arnold from a year and a half ago, it is current in that even after that all wraps up, it goes back into, you know, Zadrunas' injury for before 2017, and then now Zadrunas is back and healthy and should be ready to go, and then Eddie Hall winning Worlds and then retiring after, and Eddie Hall's 500 kilo deadlift, and then Brian. So like it is as current as you can be, and it's fucking good.
Yeah.
Like I got done watching it, and I was like, I'm gonna go lift.
Yeah. It was. So we kind of Eddie's the first one they follow, and I think we touched on the high points of him. Of course, they cover training a little bit for everyone, but that was kind of Eddie's thing, is like his health, longevity to
Kind
be
of
able
being
to do
the
it.
underdog physically.
And he
Yeah.
kind of touched on those things in Eddie. What was it? Eddie
Yeah,
Strongman?
Eddie
or
Strong.
Yeah, that was just like my thing is that was just like 2.5 years old.
Yep. Yep.
Which this being more current.
Is a little more relevant. It holds
If you
up
know
better.
nothing about the sport, you could still like this, and then that wouldn't matter to you because.
Yeah.
But if you follow it a little bit, then the currentness or lack thereof
Yeah.
can be annoying.
Even and if you haven't watched Eddie Hall's Strongman, is that still on Netflix?
I think so. I watched it
I'm
not
sure,
too long
yeah.
ago.
Like one, it's so good, but it is
Yeah.
dated
Yeah.
relative. You know, because he looks different. He is smaller in
Yeah,
that one.
there's clips too that they pulled directly from
that.
Like
Okay.
a lot of Eddie's training, I watched exactly on Eddie. So the second one that they follow, then another thing that interesting about Eddie that they kind of cover is kind of how much he looks up to Brian Shaw. Almost like he likes Brian Shaw, and I like he calls Brian on the phone, and Eddie, it kind of sounds like he's a dick to him, but it's obviously a little bit in
he's
jest.
just always just
He's
talking
al-
shit,
he always
yeah.
is like, "Hey, how you doing, you fat fuck?" Like that's how he answers the phone. And then they're talking about weight, and Eddie's like, "It looks like you gained 25 pounds just in that neck roll on the back of your head."
It's like looked like someone took a big old sesame roll and just slapped it on the back of your head.
And so who was the second one that they highlighted after Eddie? Then it
Was Thor.
Thor.
Yep, and Thor, they get into like his food stuff a little bit too, and that probably my favorite line of the whole thing was they talk about how much he has to eat, and he keeps eating. He's like, that's the hard part is you force feed, you wake up, you force feed, you do this, you force feed, you're grazing all day, and he said you'll eat whatever it takes. He said if eating shit made you
Made me
stronger,
stronger.
I'd probably do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, it is what it is, and he said that's the part that separates us from everyone. He's like, if you don't like to eat, this is not the sport for you.
Yep.
Or if you can't bring yourself to do it, it's not going to work.
Mark, those are the main 4 guys they follow, and then they have interjections from Mark Henry, Arnold, the British announcer guy that always announces,
Yeah,
who
he-
I
and
love.
he was at the
and
Arnold
he
that
announced
year.
the Arnold, and
I know,
I'm
I
so
really-
jealous because he's awesome.
I think, and
that
frankly,
year he did?
in 16.
Yeah, that year he did. Yeah,
Instead of Mark Henry.
Yeah.
But I think Mark Henry was there. I think that guy was the one moving the events, though.
Yeah.
So he was the hype
He's
man.
awesome.
And he's
They
really
still
good at
had
like getting
Kaz-
into
Yeah.
it.
They
Like,
still had Kaz and Mark Henry there, I believe. But like, if I remember right, but that guy was like the hype man. I'm pretty sure because of his association with Eddie Hall.
That's why he wasn't there.
That he'll never be at the Arnold again.
Right. That's why he wasn't
That's
there
why he
for
wasn't there
us.
last year. And then after, in my opinion, after they motherfucked him after the deadlift
Yeah.
thing, I don't think him nor Eddie will have anything
No,
to do with the
I
Arnold
agree. I
again.
think he's pretty tight with Eddie,
Yeah.
but like hearing him announce when Eddie's about ready to come up for a world record deadlift, it's like from Stoke-on-Trent,
Yeah.
and he's like goes through his whole thing. It's
Yeah.
he's good. Like
He's really good.
It's missing without him. I think
Yeah,
there's
for
something
sure.
he's
missing
more
there.
that
They
Bruce
need a-
Buffer type
they-
versus
they
your
need-
two
they need
guys.
A hype man.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, and
Flava Flav.
Yeah, boy.
with Thor, they talk quite a bit about his Game of Thrones
Yep.
Yeah.
role, and there's fun. They showed him sitting around with his family and friends watching the episodes of Game of Thrones and what that's like for him. Really funny vodka commercial, like for his vodka.
Okay,
that he
because he's
sells.
always like pushing his vodka. I got vodka on Instagram. I didn't really know what the
No, and when they were showing that commercial, I was like, oh, this is gonna suck, and it was funny. Like that was a really good commercial.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously we're all like super Half-Thor fanboys, but like his like branding, like his apparel and stuff, to me leaves totally something to be desired. So a lot of the stuff that he puts his name on, I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like the look isn't that great. It's not very, I just think that
it's the fact that it's him is what's selling.
Yeah, and it's like, man, it could be cooler.
Yeah,
and be you and be awesome, but the vodka is well done. It was funny. It was really
funny.
Well done. I liked also. I remember they have like that joke commercial, the fuzzy bubbles.
Oh,
the water one or whatever. That was a good deal too. But
they highlighted the Iceland thing, the tradition of strong men in Iceland, and talked about it with the tattoo on his leg that says, "If you don't do deadlift, or
no reason
to live if you don't do deadlift."
And
isn't that
John Paul Sigmundson?
Okay. And they showed it when he yelled it, and there's like 3 of his other gym like training partners have the same tattoo.
The guy that's in every of Thor's lifting videos that says "Yes, Thor, yes, Thor." he's on stage with Thor at the Arnold and everything there too. He has that same tattoo in the same spot. You got a really good picture of that tattoo.
Yeah, yes, you
up
did.
close and personal.
Yeah.
What did it smell like?
Like
nose
fresh.
torque.
Yeah.
And then I believe it was
Brian.
Was Shaw?
Yeah.
And they went. We know kind of everything about Brian Shaw, kind of the way he trains. He's very cerebral, works hard. It's all mathematical. You know what I mean? Everything is very
methodical
scientific and spelled out.
He really wants to win,
and he doesn't want to just win one. And he's right. They do kind of get into that a little bit where like his expectation is to win. So like if he does not win, that is not good. And so it's not that second place is okay. Like so he is. I think his wife even said that like. He'll be happy if he wins, but like that's what he came here to do. So like he's not going to be that stoked about it, even though which is crazy. But and so not to shorten the Shaw thing, but that is everything Shaw is probably the one that we hear the most real information from. Eddie Hall, you get Eddie Hall the character, and Half-Thor you get. Whatever they kind of put out with him, everything's brand specific with Half-Thor. Yeah. But like with Brian Shaw, you get we got a lot of information already out there, and it's all kind of along those lines. Yep. But then they went into Zadrunas, which is my favorite.
And I was gonna say this is the one that I would be the most interested in because first of all, he's been around so long, and he just seems like he's just like training in the shadows, or he has some ancient secret.
He trains in the goddamn. Okay, so there's this old outdoor stadium that apparently that's where the first Lithuanian strongest man competition was ever held. And from what I can tell is totally decrepit, right? Like that's not still functional. And that's where he has all of his stuff under the bleachers in this cold, no fucking hardly any lights, but there he is fucking just lumbering.
He likes to train by himself because the weights feel heavier when you train by yourself, and then when he gets on the big stage,
so then he's got that.
He's always stronger when he competes because
he said he trains by himself because it's harder.
Yeah.
And he said you get there, you got a crowd yelling at people, and you hype it up. That makes it way easier. So he's like, train in the hardest conditions you possibly can train. But 20 plus years in that game for Zadrunas.
He won his first Arnold in 2003.
Okay.
Was his first year, and he's won 8 Arnolds.
Yeah, and he's been doing World's Strongest Man since
he's
was it like 98? I just saw on Instagram they had a video of him doing so much when he dropped the stone on him, and he gets up and keeps going.
The stone dropped
onto
together.
And it fell onto like his sternum, chest.
And he gets up and keeps trying, and it's like,
he looks
damn.
so young.
But I think that was 98, wasn't it?
He looked like he just looked kind of like a fat kid.
Yeah.
Then.
So he won 4 World's Strongest Man titles, but the thing about that is, for a while, at a point in time,
it split, wasn't it?
IFSA and World's Strongest Man were the two. So there's the best guys were doing both, and he won 2 of those also. So it's debatable, like if they would have been together.
So he has 4 Strongest Man and two of the
IFSA titles.
So the other thing that was cool was he starts listing, and he's like, and then it's like, I'm gonna make up the numbers, like 7-time Europe's strongest man, 15-time Lithuania's strongest man, just listing off all this
his
like
accomplishments,
and all I could think was like, that guy's gonna have a lot of trophies. And what's the quote?
Oh, it's like, I have a very big house. Ryan does it really good. Very big house for all my trophies.
I have very big house. I guess he's like a city councilman.
Yeah, he's a politician.
Really?
Yeah, he owns like 4 or 5 fitness gyms.
So that would make sense why you always see training videos of him in places like that.
That's the ones that he owns.
He trains in a place like that.
Yeah. Because he owns those places. Yeah. He seems very intelligent. I would say. Knows what he's doing. I
think he is like Brian Shaw level smart. Shaw's really, really bright. But right. I think Zadrunas is right up there.
And I would guess in Lithuania, Z is very popular.
Yeah.
Like you would assume.
I think that's a country that probably. Also, they're probably really jealous of all the food he gets to eat. Because he was coming up in an era with which there was bread lines. And like,
yep.
So, but yeah, the Zadrunas part was the one I was looking forward to seeing the most of.
Well, and at the beginning of it, that's what they talked about is until he was 15, they were occupied by communist Russia. Mm-hmm. And he said nobody could work out or do anything like that. So they said when that changed, like when he was 15 years old, that's when he got to start working out and training, because before that he wasn't allowed to do that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a crazy dynamic to think about, is that he had so much larger hurdles than what someone like from America might have when getting into a sport like that.
Deciding what gym they want to go to.
Right.
What of the 11 gyms within a mile of their house they have.
Yeah.
And who, maybe your opinion changed while watching it, or maybe it didn't, but who of the 4 is your favorite? Who do you like the best out of the 4?
After that was the way it was presented there was Zadrunas.
Yeah.
Still.
He was my favorite, and after that he's far and above my favorite. The only thing that holds me back is sometimes I think I should cheer more for Brian Shaw because he's is actually American.
Yeah.
And none of the other guys are American.
And there's nothing not likable about Brian Shaw. No. But what it is Brian Shaw is like he's like the New England Patriots.
Well, yeah, I think it's like he's expected to win, so it's like if he wins, it's like, yeah, he's really good, but it's like that's kind of what was supposed to happen. So it's like,
but Z's won more than him.
Yes.
But at this point, it's like he's been around so long. Like, why are you still good?
Brian Shaw even said the same thing. He said Z has spanned more than 2 generations of this sport, and has fucking dominated both of them.
Yeah.
Really. Like crushed it. And I think this was on the Powercast they were talking about Zadrunas, and he said that he had Shaw was talking about Zadrunas, and he said that the thing is now, if you want to be the world's strongest man, you can look at it and go, oh, never mind. You know what I mean? 1,600 pound yoke carry,
that's not attainable for anyone.
450 pound fucking log press for reps. Just if you don't deadlift 1,000 pounds, you're not even going to be in the top 5. So where do you start? Whereas, and so a lot of people now have a really they try to rush to get to that point too fast. They get hurt. It's just a meat grinder. And he said, but what Zadrunas was able to do was he grew with the sport.
Yeah.
So the sport was so young when he started that then he was able to, the weights were more respectable, and he was almost one of the people that as he got better, the weights had to get heavier. He grew the sport and the sport grew with him to where he was just, as he got stronger, they had to do something.
Right.
And this is another fun one too, is I believe, God, I have to go back and look, but on Wikipedia, it says the 98 IPF World Classics. Yeah, Brad Gillingham first, Zadrunas Savickas second, which is crazy to think. He's been around that long.
The other cool thing that it was Arnold that was talking about it during that show was he said, if you're one of the best soccer players in the world and you walk up to somebody on the street and they may recognize you, may not, your skill, your hard work, it's not there. Someone has to give you a ball and you got to kick it around and show it off.
And then people are like,
you're good at that. And you're pretty good at that. But when Brian Shaw or Zadrunas or Hafthor or Eddie Hall walks into the room and shakes your hand, you go, oh.
Yeah.
That's one of the strongest people in the world.
They themselves are the showcase of the sport.
They are what they're talent is. It's crazy.
Yeah. Also, Arnold doesn't know the difference between powerlifting and strongman.
No,
Did he keep mixing them interchangeably?
He used them. He used the same terminology to describe them the whole time.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. English is hard.
And of all the people they interviewed and all the people interjecting, it's funny. I think out of the 4 of those guys, Z is probably the least popular in like
Media.
Yeah, generally. But almost everyone on that show referred to him at one point or another as the strongest strength athlete to have ever lived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Universally.
Yeah.
Brian Shaw did.
Yeah. Everyone.
'cause Brian Shaw hopes to have that title someday.
Yeah.
But like, he said, everybody basically says, everyone who talked about Z was like, that's the strongest man who's ever walked the earth.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, you might, if you just looked at the 4 of them in a lineup, you might pick him, a lot of people would pick him 4th, just out of the eye test.
Yeah. But, it was pretty cool. It'll be interesting to see him this year. Mm-hmm. It's also sucks because I still was really hoping we'd get to see Eddie. Because that
won't
lineup
happen,
is
I don't
so
think.
good.
Yeah, the 4 of those guys.
4 of them, that's a fucking
be-
good lineup. But imagine the Arnold again like it was last year if we had, if there was at least Zadrunas there. How much
That'll make
more
it a
that
lot.
opens it up?
That'll be a lot cooler.
And there's a few guys that are coming up quite a bit from last year too. Like Martins did really, really
He'll be
well
very
at Worlds.
competitive.
I still keep waiting for that Mateus, the Keselowski.
Kilkowski or whatever.
He's a fucking hell of a presser. He just needs to get. He's so tall. He just needs to keep getting thicker.
Dimitar. Jerry Pritchett.
Jerry Pritchett's legit.
He's not far out of the mix either.
So, but there's still is a big difference between them top 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And the middle of the pack.
Yeah, it'll be really exciting to see Z this year. I really hope there's nothing that hinders
Can't
either
have
of
it
those
in there.
3
Yeah,
from.
because that was like through 2 weeks or 3 weeks before, wasn't
yeah.
it? Like,
So fucking.
that was
bummed
probably
out.
about his last heavy training session, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I had to have been, yeah. So hopefully Z comes in healthy and we can see him. At the very least, who knows how many more years you're going to get to see him compete. So
the movie does culminate with the end of the Arnold, but if you don't know how 2016 Arnold ended, I won't even mention it here, but it's
a good ending.
It's a really good ending, like the way it played out and who won and didn't win.
Yeah.
If you don't know, I would say don't look it up. Just watch the movie.
And off the top of my head,
Yeah.
I'm not sure I know who actually won that year.
So you'll watch the movie, and it is exciting to the very end. It'll be good.
So, Born Strong on iTunes, Amazon, and Google. Everywhere you pay for movies. Now that
Blockbuster?
Now that I pay for movies now. I did the bit for the longest time where I would just go and like torrent them and watch them,
Because that the torrent is
yeah,
that thing.
but then I still am a firm believer in this, like, because that was easier, it was kind of easy. But now, like, that process is a bit of a pain in the ass, and they've done a really good job now with like Chromecast and being able to throw the image or whatever the show you're watching from your phone directly to your TV.
Yeah.
I always said, like, they just need to make it easier for me to spend money with them, and I'll do it. And in this case specifically, I saw on Facebook a review about this. I pulled it up, and I was like, okay, I'll just buy it. And I pushed one more button, and it was on my TV. And that's the reason I spent $13, $14 instead of going downstairs, because that's the deal. It's a torrent. It takes a little bit of shit. So you go downstairs, got to fucking download it, send it to my phone, or try to do it directly on my phone, and who knows what all is going on with that. And so, now that they made it easier, now I tend to pay for fucking movies a lot more.
Yeah, which is the way it should be.
I guess.
We're in the future, people.
Yeah. So, but we like to give away free podcasts. So in return, maybe y'all should buy some shit.
Have you heard about these double-walled mugs?
Ooh.
Vacuum sealed,
Okay,
even.
we do have
Engraved with
these,
freaking laser beams.
These Flex Flasks, also in the Massenomics OG logo. No, we won't do it all over again.
It's been another 20 minutes right now.
But they're great.
We did have a review of the podcast coming in here, and
Kind of forgot about those things.
title of this, it is 5 out of 5 stars. Title: Worst Bowling Industry Management and cuts off there. Industry Management and Technology podcast out there. I was told Massenomics was hands down the best bowling, industry management, and technology podcast out there. I listened to 19 episodes and didn't hear bowling mentioned a single time. Instead, I only heard great interviews and fantastic discussions on a wide range of topics related to the various sports related to picking up heavy stuff. From Ryan Mercer.
I'll be damned.
Well, we're sorry we let you down, Ryan.
Yeah.
But it looks like you found the silver lining in this.
Yeah.
I guess are we gonna have to branch out?
Yeah. So Ryan's a supporter of the podcast. He purchased a shirt then also, and he's commented on a few articles and such since then. So
props, Ryan.
Yeah. So
the
Ryan,
world needs more Ryan.
So
yeah, he
it's all
follows
about.
us on Instagram. He kind of did what you all need to do, like the
Guys, get with the program.
So you follow us on Instagram, you leave a review, you
Buy
buy a
some
shirt,
stuff, and then look, we talk about you.
Tell all your friends.
Ryan-
We're gonna tell you guys. Listen, I don't know if you guys know this Ryan Mercer.
he's a good guy.
Good guy. He's handsome.
Yeah.
I
He's
don't-
strong too. He picks
he's
up heavy
strong.
stuff himself.
I heard he's
If he
closing in on
is-
like 800-pound deadlift or something.
If Ryan is single, ladies, hit him up. If he's not, stay the fuck away.
Yeah.
And depending on what him and his wife are into, though. You know,
I guess
maybe-
hit him up and maybe he'll sort it out for you.
So thanks, Ryan.
Yeah.
So we've got let's do the final rundown here. Guys, go to Massenomics.com. There you're gonna find all the sweet new stuff like the Flex Flask. Tanner will pop one open for you here. And we also have hats, kind of like the one Tanner's wearing, but not necessarily. Is that a
Similar-ish.
custom?
This is custom
That's
colors.
a custom one.
West
Tommy
Coast
here is
Customs.
rocking the Weekend Warrior shirt.
We do sell that one.
We sell the shit out of that
Most
one.
popular
You need
thing we
one
sell.
or two. Also, there you're going to find our articles, all the good stuff. What was our most recent article? We had a article on just generally being large.
Yes.
And
And then
no matter how, whatever it is, being huge is probably not the best thing for your health. Thanks a lot for bumming us all
yeah, I
out.
was gonna say, well, thanks, Sean's, for dissing what.
My question is, it's always the smallest guy in the group that writes that article. I would not
calling
be
us
the one
fat.
that writes that article.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna come back and write an article about how being small sucks too, John.
How it's bad for your health.
Yeah, you're gonna get eaten.
Prior to that, he had another article about 3 myths of testosterone.
That was really good too, and it goes pretty in depth too. So if
Yeah.
you have any questions about, especially some of the like the myths about like, oh, you eat this food's gonna increase your testosterone, and find out the whys and the whats and why that works and why that doesn't work.
And the last one previous article before that was our Rhinoflex band bell bar review, and just great bar. I see more and more people using that in the gym all the time, and more people comment to me about how they've been using that more and really liking it.
I've been having to migrate down to Massenomics to train to eliminate distractions from my gym to get down and get work in, and I have seen that bar get used literally every time I'm there.
It is.
It'll get to the point where we need to get another one of those because there's always someone using it now.
Or upgrade to the HD. Is that the one?
Heavy duty.
That's the one that.
This one holds up to 100 pounds. The HD holds up.
No,
to
this one holds up to 400.
400. Yeah, sorry.
I was about to say. I think I fucked up then.
Well, I mean, if for me it only holds 100, that's why I can't go heavier. But the HD holds up to 600.
And does it have
then
knurling too?
Yeah, then it has some knurling. I don't know how that works exactly, but it does. And then the white Rhino holds up to 1,000, and it doesn't even begin to work until you load at least 400 on it.
Jesus.
Yeah. So not a huge market for that one, I would assume. But if you squat 1,000 pounds, maybe you want the white Rhino.
Yeah, why not? These Stan Efferding White Rhino edition. What else here? So let's see. Facebook. Make sure you follow or like us on Facebook. We've got email us if you have any official business you want sorted out. Interview requests, sponsorship stuff. You want to send us money, T-shirts. You want us to review some equipment. Email us at getbig@massenomics.com, or you can also hit us up. Just slide into the DMs and Instagram. Not my DMs, Tanner's. My DMs are strictly for unofficial business and memes. But I think, is that about everything?
Yeah,
I think so.
Huge spike in the listenership this year or this month. So if you're new to listening, spread the word. Maybe you could tell someone about it, and let's keep that going.
Yeah, definitely tell somebody. It's you guys telling other people that is what's made this kind of work, because God knows we haven't figured out how to do it.
No,
It's just
quite
from
honestly,
it.
we do not. We had a discussion about it this week of why did it grow this month.
We don't know.
How
So
are
I think
these
it's
people?
you guys that are doing it.
Probably.
You're miracle workers out there.
So, but anyway, thanks a lot for listening, everybody. I'm Tyler. You can follow me on Instagram at Tyler Effin Stone. That's Tyler EFFIN Stone. Tommy?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
And Tanner?
The Massenomics Instagram account at Massenomics.
Righteous. All right. Well, that'll do it for us today. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week. And stay strong. See ya.
You just heard the Massenomics podcast. With your ears. You're welcome. Check us out on Facebook, find us on Instagram at Massenomics, and make sure you visit Massenomics.com and buy some of that sweet Massenomics gear. From your friends at Massenomics Studio, home of the world's strongest podcast, stay strong.